Good morning, it's Barbara. It's a little earlier than I've been the last few days, so maybe this will get up before like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We shall see. I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but there is the bed ready for my peonies. It's already covered in leaves. And once the peonies arrive, Manny and his guys are going to come back and plant them. Good morning, it's Barbara. It's a little windy out here. My hair is a little flyaway. It's actually kind of nice out here. I thought that Carol and her friend, I think her friend's name is Diane. I'm terrible. And I would sit inside today, but we might sit out here, although the deck is again covered with leaves. I did sweep the deck off when Russ and Pat were coming, but it's been fall around here for a couple weeks, and I am inundated with leaves again. But I'll brush off the chairs, and maybe I won't worry about it. The deck is not as lovely as it has been all summer because I have dead flowers. Yeah, I watered today. We'll see what happens. I have to water my forsythia, or I'm not going to have the gorgeous early spring I'm hoping for. As it turns out, Manny and his crew came. His crew is his driver, because Manny is Amish, so he can't drive. And a young man and Manny. And the driver actually was working this time. The last time, let me get my coffee. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. The last time Manny came, his driver just sat in the car the whole day, the truck. Which I thought was funny. But now, I mean, because you're paying. Whatever. Anyway, this time the guy worked. And they planted 200 bulbs, spring bulbs, every kind of tulip you can imagine. He picked some gorgeous, ruffly. I'm so excited for spring here. It's going to be beautiful. And hopefully I'll have some forsythia if I water them. We do not have rain in the forecast. They dug up that flower bed to prepare that bed for the peonies. It was a dust storm. It was a dust storm. It is so dry here. I hope we have local crops that it's good to have a very dry fall. Speaking of drying, I want to show you this. You might recall I had that beautiful bouquet from Russ and Pat, and I had to bring it outside because as it was, dying, it started to give off a smell that I couldn't have in the house. So I brought it out here, and I was enjoying it here, although I could smell it while I was sitting here talking to you. And then I took it apart, and I decided to try to dry some of it. So I had this brain stuff that Karen told me the name of it, and I'll find her comment and put it down below. It doesn't look nearly as brainy because I've been trying to dry it. And it's been out here out of the water for quite some time. So it's shrunk. Hold on. There. I changed my view so that you can have some sun on what I'm showing you. So it is drying. It's not completely dry, but it is shrinking. You can see I'm doing all three of those. Then it had eucalyptus, and we all know you can dry eucalyptus, or some people can. Whether I can or not, that's to be determined, I suppose. But it seems like it's drying very nicely. So I have there were a few stems of eucalyptus in there, which I took out. And they're all tangled up. So I have, and you can smell it. I wonder if that's a smell that will bug me. I don't know. So I have these. I can smell it when I put my nose right up to it. Then there were some very pretty little purple flowers. They did not do well. They just look like thistle, not even thistles, they shrank up to nothing. And I don't think I'm going to be keeping these. But then there were these little white balls. These little white balls were beautiful, and they're drying very nicely. So that's fun. So I have a little drying station on my table. The other thing were cattails, and they were already dried, really. So anyway, this is my mother's flowers. I got to throw them away. I thought I might try to save the green florist foam in case, but I think I'm just gonna call it a day. Put it out by the trash can. I enjoyed them for a long time though. Anyway, good morning. So yesterday I ended up reading a book. I read Hounded by Kevin Hearn, which was recommended to me, to all of us, by Jim and Valerie on Visit with Nana and Papa. And I enjoyed it very much. She told me I was going to be laughing out loud. Maybe I actually did that. It was a very cute, funny, light in tone. And I wasn't so sure about it, I'll be honest, because I'm not a big fan of sort of medieval magic in modern time stories. And I started one, and I thought it might have been this series, but it wasn't. I started one, you know, a while ago, and I'm like, nah. And, you know, and there are certain styles of funny, irreverent writing that I enjoy, and certain styles that I don't enjoy. And I don't know what it was about that other book, and I don't remember the name of it. But it wasn't this one. So I enjoyed it very much. In fact, I bought the second book, Hexed. There are 10 books in this series, which is always fun. I don't expect to read all 10 because I always poop out in the middle of long series like that, but it's okay. I'll enjoy it while I enjoy it. And yeah. So my days, evenings in the last couple of days have been more appropriate for reading rather than knitting. There hasn't been anything for me to listen to or watch while I'm sitting in my chair because everybody's been in the living room for longer than typical. So I've been reading the last couple nights, and I've enjoyed that, and so that's good. But I enjoyed that book a lot, Hounded by Kevin Hearn. And yeah, and Dennis, he was like a one-armed paper hanger yesterday. Oh my gosh, such a lovely man. I'm married to a really lovely man. He took his mom to the doctor, and they didn't get home till almost 3 o'clock. Then we walked the dogs, and then after dinner he made cheesecake and lemon curd for my little cappuccino party today, because Carol and her friend are coming. They're only staying for a couple of hours because they're on the road home, and they don't, you know, and they want to get back on the road, so they aren't staying for dinner, but they're going to have cheesecake. Little tiny cheesecakes. Very, very lovely, and it was so sweet of him. He's such a good guy. Of course, he has a reputation to uphold as well as me in terms of my community. You know, you have a lot of expectations of Dennis in addition to whatever you expect about me. So he wants to live up to the expectations. And anyway, it was so kind of him to do that, even though he had a busy day. And so we have strawberry sauce and we have lemon curd. I'm thinking I might make popovers, and we can have popovers, lemon curd, and cheesecake. A weird combination perhaps, but you know. And cappuccinos if they want. Otherwise they can have my Vienna coffee. I'm having 1002 today, which I ground by hand. I did my yoga yesterday. I was inside. I had to be inside to do my vlog yesterday because Manny and his guys were out here making noise. But I could have done my yoga out here. What do I care if they see me? But I didn't. I did it inside. And it was even weirder for the dogs for me to be inside. Sitting in a chair, not cuddling them. So that was a little tricky. I had to yell at them all the time. And that is not the sort of mindset you're supposed to be in when you're doing your yoga. You're supposed to be calm and relaxed, and and yelling at the dogs all the time is not such. So when I can't do my yoga out here anymore, I'm probably just going to have to put a folding chair in my room upstairs and do it upstairs. Because I don't want to be yelling at the dogs first thing in the morning. They want to cuddle. Of course they want to cuddle. I mean, not that I didn't cuddle them already, but there's never enough. Dogs are just like toddlers. You don't do anything with the dog that you don't want to do a million times. Yesterday, Dennis was working. He was, making dinner. He made quiche for dinner. He was making cheesecake. He was making lemon curd. He was making ice cream. I mean, he was doing all these things. And I'm like, can I help you? He said, yeah, you can throw the Frisbee for the dog. I'm like, no, I can't do that. Sorry. Anything else I can do? I can fry the bacon. He's like, oh, so you really wanted to help. I'm like, I do, but I'm not throwing the Frisbee. Because once you throw that Frisbee for that dog, she'll nag you to kingdom come. She does not bring me the Frisbee. And I am very happy because I never throw it for her. I cuddle her. I will toss her other toys around in the house. I will, feed her and give her water, but I am not throwing that Frisbee because as soon as you do that, she's all over you like white on rice. And I don't want to live my life like that. Dennis has to throw that Frisbee 30 times a day at least. And Pat and Kim have the same problem because they started throwing the Frisbee for Pearl because she's so cute and she really loves it. And she does. She really loves it. But she nags them the entire time they're here. So I'll warn Carol, do not throw that Frisbee, although she's only going to be here for a couple of hours. And the chances of her coming back anytime soon are pretty small. But still. My advice to new mothers is don't do anything with your kid that you don't want to do a million times. Pick your books very carefully, because you are going to read these books a million times. And I threw away the Pokey Little Puppy. I could not stand to read that book. And the kids, were like, where's Pokey Little Puppy? Gee, I don't know. I lied to my kids. I'm telling you now on the internet. I'm putting it out there. I threw that book away. I couldn't stand to read it one more time. I just couldn't. So, apparently, German Shepherds are the same as toddlers and young children. Just public service announcement. Love her to death. I mean, she's absolutely amazing dog. But I'm not throwing the Frisbee for her. So anyway, I did other things. I went to the drugstore and got Aura's new prescription. And, I tried to do things to help. I'm not throwing the Frisbee. Meanwhile, look what I got in the mail. This is an unboxing because I sliced the tape, but I haven't opened the box yet. This is my Advent, which reminds me I have got to put my Advent in. Oh! I wonder if this box will work for my Advent that I'm sending to Megan. Probably not. Probably not quite big enough. All right. Ta-da! Oh no, one of them opened. Oh, two of them opened. Rats. Rats. Aren't they cute? They should have used these stickers to actually close them. I think. This one was opened a little bit. Oh, because these are DK minis. This one's open too, but I didn't see this one. I did see the other one. I will admit. Oh, This one's popping open too. I have to be very careful with this. Oh, ladies, ladies. Swedish fish. I'll give those to Carol. Oh, yeah. See, they have stickers on top. They should have used the stickers to close the boxes. And that would have worked. I am going to get a little Scotch tape and seal these, because the surprise is a very important part of this for me. So a few Swedish fish tossed in my Christmas skein. All right, so I'm going to get the tape and I'm going to tape these down because I do not want any spoiled surprises. You know me. If you've been around a long time, a very long time, you know how I react if I'm not surprised. Under the Sea. These are not stickers. This is just a printout of all 24 creatures that are the stickers on the boxes. Thank you so much for purchasing the mini collection. We hope you enjoy working with them and you get to make something beautiful. Have a wonderful holiday season with family and friends, and go forth and create. So those are the ladies and a little piece of tissue. So I am going to get my tape out and make sure those stay down, because I do not want, I want to be surprised. And if you've been around for a while, you know what I mean. I was very disappointed in my first yarn advent that came in clear cellophane, so you could see everything. I'm like, it wrecked it for me. It really did. I'm sure they never did that again. But I don't know, because I didn't buy it again either. And you know, these yarn advents are not cheap. So anyway, this is my DK advent, and I have Trilogy yarn advent coming, and I have Sweet Sparrow yarn advent coming, and I have my advent from Megan. So there will be a lot of advent opening in December on this vlog. I apologize in advance. And I want to think about what I want to do. Leslie of the Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast. I always say Leslie like I know everybody knows her, and I think everybody does know her, but in case you don't know her, she's the hostess of the Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast, and she's amazing. She said that the 200 Crochet Squares book is designed, you know, they use DK in that book, because I was going to look it up, and did I? No. But she said, but she's using fingering and it works fine. So I don't know how much energy I want to put into my advent creation that I'm making, because I don't know how much energy I have, mental energy. So I don't want to make any commitment. But my other 3 advents are going to be fingering, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Megan's sending me fingering, and the other 2 are definitely fingering. So I will have more options in terms of color scheme if I go with a fingering project for my advents. And I think I need to get knitting. I wasn't knitting because I didn't have anything to watch or listen to, and so I read, which I enjoyed a lot. But I think I'm hoping to get done with my Montrealer by December, so that I will free up my needles for whatever advent project I decide on. I think a cowl or a hat would be perfect for these 24 DK minis. But to be honest, my first reaction to that is, well, I have 2 at least Advent cowls, maybe 3, and I have 2 at least Advent hats. 2 Advent hats. So I don't know. I don't know. But since I'm not a crocheter, I'm not sure I have the mental energy to do those crochet squares as my Advent project. But out of 200, I'm sure I could find 24 simple designs that wouldn't strain my brain too much. But you know, I should actually open the book again and take a look and see what I think. Yeah. So, there you go. That's my day today. So I bought a new book, but I also now have decided I would love to have my Montrealer done in time for Advent to start. But I'm going to have a choice of 3 different yarns every day in fingering, which makes it a little easier to do some color manipulation in an Advent if you have more choices. Because if you only have one choice, like if I had only had the botanical yarn last December, I would have been really, really sad. I was disappointed in that box. But I had Megan's, and I had another 12 Days of Christmas that I had gotten from, I can't remember. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'll go back and watch one of my vlogs from last December, and I'll put it down below, because they were beautiful yarns, and I can't believe I can't remember. But, and Megan and the other box saved the day. Yeah, so that's my story, and that's why I have 3 Advents this year. No, that's not why. That's not why. The Toads were back in town. The Toads were back dyeing yarn. I love the Toads yarns. And I had already bought the Sweet Sparrow, which are 10-gram minis. And then I, came across Trilogy yarn in person when I was in Idaho, and it was so gorgeous. Well, I already made a cowl out of it. Yeah. And I was feeling like I wanted to treat myself, to tell you the truth. I was feeling like, a little retail therapy was in order. Yeah, and that's what I did. So I'm looking forward to my Advents. But this is also a reminder that I have to wrap and send Megan's Advent. Did I tell you the other day I got the last thing I ordered for her? It came. I'm so excited. And so I've got everything. I think. I have to go, because we give little presents she started this little presents every day, and I don't know how many little presents I have, so I might have to whatever. Probably not, though. I think I'm okay, because I've been working on it all year. You can ask my friend Kim. We were here for the 4th of July. I'm getting stuff. She's this is for my Christmas Advent for my friend in New Zealand, and she's laughing. So we'll see what I ended up with, but I need to get started wrapping and organizing my yarns and things like that. Although, I'll be honest, I organized those yarns very early. And so I only have a little tweaking to do. So there you go. Anyway, I gotta go. I got people coming. I'm so excited. And I want to remind you, Saturday is our Zoom. We're Zooming together on Saturday. There's a thread in the Ravelry group, Saturday Zoom. That's it. If you've been before, it's the same link. It doesn't change. Valerie is the hostess with the mostess, and we will be and I'll be working on my Montrealer. I even know what I'm going to be working on. So please join us. Mark your calendar. It's 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. This is our last Zoom in Daylight Time. It goes back to Standard Time next month. But 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Please mark your calendar and join us. And meanwhile, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Tell you all about my visit with Carol and her friend. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay sane.